Ba-ba. Hello. Hi. I don't know what I'm doing. Excuse me, usual. This is my decision making process as of late. I'll be doing something and then I'll be like, I feel like going live. And then I'll be like, I don't know. And so I'll ask Siri to flip a coin. Tails has been live lately. And then Siri said Tails, and then I was playing a game. I finished at that level, and then it came live. I wanted to use my webcam, and the first decks I got, the Witch's Tarot, the Wild Unknown, Animal Spirits, and Oracle cards, as a little bit of a shout out, throwback, as a little bit of a throwback, but that didn't happen. So, and this light is on, which is why it looks so lighty. Let's see. Turn lamp brightness to 75%. Please. That's better. Right? Knight of Cups. So I have the Star Dolly Tarot actually. Because I haven't used it in a while. And I'm just going to see what's up. I had to go back to work today. And work was fine. So I'm glad for that. I had a dream last night that I can't remember if I was in a building or outside. If I was in a building, it was a very spacious building. But it was flooded with spaghetti sauce and there were meatballs. There were meatballs in the spaghetti sauce. And I held on, it was like two meatballs, and I held on to them and I was just like floating. I was fine. Um, and then I was in the car with my mom and I was like, what does it mean? And I told her about my dream. I was like, what do you think that means? And then I looked it up. Oh wow. 2, 4, 6, 7, 10. The 10 of Cups. 2, 5, 7 swords. The Knight of Coins. The 5 of Coins. And the 6 of Swords all came out. Hello. On top of Smokey. How you doing, Holly? These are the cards that came out. I think if my lighting situation was better, the camera would like focus easier, but that's fine. This is a lot of cards. There's too many. There's too many. There's too much. These cards are too busy. But yeah, I was really worried about going back to work. Excuse me, but I think I figured out a solution. So, at first, it felt like my break from work was super long. And then this morning, it didn't feel like it was long enough. I already want to use vacation. I was like, I was not able to fix my sleep schedule before I had to go back. That's primarily the reason why I went on vacation. But can I get one card? A card for now. Please. I guess it's this one. The Six of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the Queen of Coins. This actually makes me think of the Ocean card, I think, in the Elemental Oracle that Rob was going through yesterday. And there was something about sea courage. Mare is ocean or sea in Latin. I don't remember what courage is, but on top of the spaghetti. No problem. You've been in a state of emergency since Friday night. Oh my gosh. Is that like weather related or Everything else related. How you doing, Skywaltress? What am I supposed to pull from these cards? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You can't be in that area, in that part of the world without heat. Well, hopefully things the power grids go back up, the people get heat and the winds calm down even more. I'm doing well. Excuse me. Better than I thought I would be. Ah, the day did go better than I thought it would. I was a little anxious, a little nervous, but everything worked out. This deck is so much. I'm like, let's see. Let's see what I can pull. I need the Six of Swords. Cups, swords. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. The Four of Swords is interesting. The Six of Swords. There's a whole bunch. Oh, these are different languages. Okay. Ah. So, at a superficial level, the scene from Eugene Lacroix, like the water. That's the card. I can't hold it up and read at the same time. Excuse me. At a superficial level, the scene from Eugene Delacroix's 1822 painting Dante and Virgil in Hell represents movement, translocation, or any other external change. However, it also points to the faculties of the mind that enable different worlds to become interlinked. It challenges you to be mentally alert and always up to date. Varying someone from one shore to the other can be likened to translating words from one language into another. Different people in their respective truths are like two shores or two different worlds, which need to be connected. The archetype of the ferryman represents the controlling power and transformational abilities of the human mind. In many traditional stories, such as the devil with the three golden hairs, the ferryman is condemned for all eternity to ferry back and forth. In his novel Siddhartha, Hermann Hesse created such an inspiring version of the ferryman that this archetype has become a symbol of the dignity of human consciousness as a bridge between two realms. Whether or not we can cope with our current situation depends to a great extent on our mental clarity and openness. Useless thoughts are like old baggage carried along to each new destination. Useful thoughts, on the other hand, plumb the depths of any issue, just as the ferryman can only advance if his pole makes contact with the bottom of the river. I did not expect a whole bunch of bridging two things together to blah 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 whatever, because that almost makes it feel like the Two of Pentacles, the Nocturne, and in some ways, I guess the tension in the SKT. And then the Queen of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck. Ooh, just bent the card. I wonder if there's a Charon. Is Charon an asteroid? I don't know where my phone is. One second. I should probably just use my laptop because I can probably type faster, but that's fine. Yeah, I'll use my laptop. Yesterday, CNN posted while Rob was on, she used 3 decks instead of the usual two, and the third was the elemental. Oh, snap. The one I was having like flashbacks to when Rob was unboxing the Game of Thrones tarot. I was like, ooh. But I thought I liked it. I liked the entry for whatever the card was that was like super about like physics and was it physics and inertia or something like that? I don't remember what it was, but um Charon is a moon. Oh, it is a moon. A moon of who? Pluto, which would make sense. If Charon is a moon of Pluto, Charon is probably where Pluto is. Charon is the sixth largest known trans-Neptunian object near after Pluto, Eris, Haumea, Makemake, and Gongong. I never got into trans-Neptunian astrology. It popped up on my radar with Uranian astrology, but I didn't research it anymore. But I think the thing about trans-Neptunian planets was that there was some science dude who I guess was also into astrology, maybe some astrologer who was keeping track of, I think he was like a wartime astrologer or something like that. And so they would use the transits to determine when like something would go down. And they noticed that there were points in the sky that whenever something conjuncted or lined up with those points in the sky, something would happen, but we didn't have a planet there. I mean, it's a trans-Neptunian object, so that's probably not. Actually, it might still be. But I think when I was reading it, a little bit of what I saw, it's like there were points in the sky where things would happen, um, but there wasn't like a planet there, and so they didn't know what was there. And I think I'm gonna we're gonna go down this rabbit hole a little bit. I wish I had Discord up so I could like show y'all the Wikipedia. A trans-Neptunian object is any minor planet or dwarf planet in the solar system that orbits the sun at a greater average distance than Neptune, which has a semi-major axis of 30.1 astronomical units. Typically, TNOs are further divided into the classical and resonant objects of the Kuiper belt. Is that how you pronounce it? I never knew. The scattered disk and detached objects with the sednoids being the most distant ones. As of October 2020, the catalog of minor planets contains 678 numbered and more than 2,000 unnumbered TNOs. The first TNO to be discovered was Pluto in 1930. It took until 1992 to discover a second trans-Neptunian planet orbiting the sun directly, 15760 Albion. The most massive known as Eris, which is interesting because Eris, she popped up, followed by Pluto, Haumea, Makemake, and Gongong. Wait, this one doesn't even include Charon. Because what did this say? It's the sixth largest known. Where? So, I mean, I'm assuming Charon is where Pluto is. If it's a moon of Pluto, Charon in astrology. Charon in astrology, sure, why not? Paya or Charon. Oh, wait, what? In Vedic astrology. Oh, that's Charon. That is not what I was looking for, actually. Um, Charon. Charon in astrology is of no astrological significance. By definition, it'll be in the same place as Pluto. Okay, that's what I thought. It's a minor planet which is very small in the horoscope. Chiron represents our vulnerability to New Age garbage and can be safely ignored. Wow! That's hilarious. Okay. Well, that was funny. That was hilarious. Charon is Kuiper. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, Charon. Charon. Um Charon is the ferryman that takes people across the river Styx. I didn't do that, did I? Did I do that? I feel like I did it before. Styx, Phlegathon. It was like Charon, the rivers of the underworld. Maybe I didn't actually pull a spread around it. It just came up and I read about it. I guess Charon is Corey knows the word. Sycophant? No. Psychopomp. That's what the word is. It's a psychopompic energy, right? Sycophant. Oh my gosh. That's my brain. Psychopomp. Let's see. A guide of souls to the place of the dead. Yeah. And then it's like you leave the 2 drachmas on the eyes so that they can pay Charon to safely transit the crossover to the river Styx or whatever. But it feels like it's like in between two worlds. I've always wondered how they build bridges over water where it's like the bridges have the things in the water. Like I've always wondered how they do that. And it did say if his pole can't touch the bottom of the water, then we can't move forward. I always thought it was like a paddle or something. I didn't know they were like sticking the pole in the river and like using that to push the boat forward. And so in that, there's something about like grounding or anchoring, earthing in water, and then releasing. It's very Had and Netzach, the seventh and eighth emanations on the tree of life Kabbalah. Yeah, it's like how they do that. I guess I could like look it up. I actually have a buddy. I think I have a few. I have one friend who was a civil engineer who went into like airports and stuff. I have another civil engineer friend, and I think she really liked bridges. I know they made us watch the Tacoma Narrows Bridge in like every engineering class for like engineering failure. Um, a wonderful documentary on the building of the Brooklyn Bridge. I can't speak. My tongue is all tied up and twisted, and I didn't. I can't believe they said Charon was insignificant. I mean, it's so far out. It's gonna be where Pluto is if it's a moon of Pluto. I wonder. I wonder what Charon's orbit is, and if it's ever like. I wish I could see a heliocentric chart with Charon on it to know if it's like facing or pointing to another planet or if it's just like off in the middle of space. Charon is a so with half the diameter and 1/8 of the mass, Charon is a very large moon in comparison to its parent body. Its gravitational influence is such that the barycenter of the Plutonian system lies outside of Pluto. What? So it has a reddish brown cap on the North Pole that is composed of tholins, organic macromolecules that may be essential ingredients of life. So Charon has a reddish brown North Pole cap that contains a key organic macromolecule to life. They were produced from methane, nitrogen, and related gases released from the atmosphere of Pluto and transferred over 19,000 kilometers, 12,000 miles to the orbiting moon. So the gases leave Pluto and then they, I guess, condense on the moon and build up macromolecules. The New Horizons spacecraft is the only probe that has visited the Pluto system. It approached Charon to within 17,000 miles in 2015. So here's the orbit. Let's see what the orbit tells us. Charon and Pluto orbit each other every 6,387 days. The two objects are gravitationally locked to one another, so each keeps the same face towards the other. So just like the sun and the moon, the sun and the moon, the moon and Earth. This is the case of mutual tidal locking, as compared to that of the Earth and the moon, where the moon always shows the same face to Earth, but not vice versa. So the moon shows the same face to the Earth, but of course, as the Earth um, rotates on its axis, it shows a different face to the moon, which is cool because that means that all of Earth gets to see the moon eventually. The average distance between them is 12,160 miles or 19,570 kilometers. The discovery of Charon allowed astronomers to calculate accurately the mass of the Plutonian system and mutual. What is an occultation? And mutual occultations revealed their sizes. However, neither indicated the two bodies' individual masses, which could only be estimated until the discovery of Pluto's outer moons in late 2005. Details on the orbits of the outer moons reveal that Charon has approximately 12% of the mass of Pluto. What's a barycenter? Kerberos and Hydra. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with Charon, but I like it. Excuse me. So wait, for Pluto, did I read that right? The objects are gravitationally locked to one another, so each keeps the same face towards the other. So their orbits, their rotations are matched. So there's a side of Pluto that never sees that moon. Now I wonder if the other moons are visible. Um, I don't know. I've actually wondered about Charon before, but anyway, I think that's as far as that's gonna take me. I kind of want to use the mystical manga. I'll use it since it's here. It is within arm's reach. I guess it is interesting that you have to pay 2 coins to get across the river Styx. And again, it's like that too. Like the energy of the Two of Pentacles feels more like it would be between worlds. So the Six Swords is the fluidity between them. And the tension has been coming out quite frequently when I use the Spirit Keepers Tarot, Revelations edition, because it's the Nocturne and the Vitruvian edition. I wonder what the story of Charon is. Two cents. Excuse me. There was a point in time where like everything was so Chiron, I couldn't remember Charon. And then I think I thought they were the same for a second. And then I was like, wait, no. I wonder how Chiron came to be that ferryman. Charon myth. Oops. And then like maybe I'll do that next time. Oh, Charon is the son of Erebus and Nyx. Okay. Charon was a god? What? Charon, the son of Erebus and Nyx, which is night. I think Zeus was afraid of Nyx, maybe? I read something. Somebody was like, the only goddess or whatever that was this person feared was Nyx, whose duty it was to ferry over the river Styx and Acheron. That was the other one. Acheron, Styx, Phlegethon. It might just be those three. Those souls of the deceased who had received the rites of burial. In payment, he received the coin that was placed in the mouth of the corpse. So I guess it was only one coin. I thought there was like the two on the eyes, the drachmas, right? Drachma, Drachma. I thought it was two of them. I thought it was two on the eyes. Maybe it just was the one under the tongue. Let's see. Two coins on the eyes of the dead. See, Charon's Obal. What? Charon's Obal is a myth surrounding the placement of coins on the eyes of the dead. According to the legend, the coins were a bribe or payment used to ferry the dead into the underworld. So was it the two on the eyes? What? So this one mentions that one of them was used to return, which hints at reincarnation or something like that. Placed in or on the mouth of the dead person before burial. Explained as a payment or bribe for Charon, the ferryman who conveyed souls across the river that divided the world of the living from the world of the dead. What? It's found in the ancient Near East. In Western Europe, a similar usage of coins and burrows occurs in regions inhabited by the Celts of the Gallo-Roman. What that makes sense. Hispano-Roman makes sense. Romano-British makes sense if it's all Roman. Um, Gold foil crosses. Okay. I guess in literature. Anyway. Isn't like Hades already like basically the god of wealth? Like what was Hades getting all those coins? Does Charon give them to Hades? So anyway, and Acheron in payment he received the coin that was placed in the mouth of the corpse. In art where he was first depicted. Okay. The angel of death in modern Greek folklore. Okay, this isn't necessarily what I wanted, but I guess Charon was a god, and I didn't know that. Was Nyx a Titan? Charon was the minor god who was assigned the dismissal task of being the cosmic ferryman. So now we get cosmic ferryman rather than just, whatever. That would suck. Imagine being born a god and then they're like, yeah. But it seemed like most of the gods who ended up in and around the underworld like didn't want to. I can't remember if it was just a book I read, um, or if it's myth that when it came to who would rule the underworld, the gods had to like draw lots because nobody wanted to do it. And Hades got the short one, the short end of the stick or whatever that saying is. You thought it was two also? Okay. Welcome back. Oh, I'm just reading more about Charon. I just want like some clarification. It almost seems like it also reminds me of that like alchemy is like a mixture of truths in a way. The thing about the pole and the water, I might do a whole spread on this actually. I'll have to like write it up though and like do it when it's not um this close to my bedtime. To do like the rivers, maybe the different rivers and then the different poles in the rivers. So it's what Styx, Acheron, and Phlegethon, rivers flowing into Hades because place and the god. Underworld was considered to be surrounded by five rivers: Acheron, the river of woe; the Cocytus, river of lamentation; Phlegethon, river of fire; Styx, river of unbreakable oath by which the gods took vows; and Lethe, the river of forgetfulness. I should have remembered Lethe. Or I'm just going to pronounce it Lethe. It might be wrong. And I should have remembered that Phlegethon was the river of fire. Cocytus, no. Acheron, I should have remembered. See, this says four rivers: Phlegethon, Cocytus, Acheron, and Styx. They don't even talk about what was the fifth one. I already forgot it. Lethe, the river of forgetfulness. Oh, the irony. So if Charon is cosmic ferryman, then I almost wonder if Lethe has something to do with remembering. I almost wonder. I mean, I guess that's the thing about like mythology and, one times religion or spirituality is another times mythology or culture is mythology or whatever. But like if there's a way to cross back on and like not go through the river Lethe, like I almost wonder if that would be one of the rivers associated with rebirth, coming out of the underworld. And then it's like you'd forget. Wikipedia rabbit hole for the wind. For the wind. For the wind. Is Lethe a goddess? What? Was the underworld river of oblivion and its goddess? The shades of the dead drank of its waters to forget their mortal lives. So yeah, the river goddess Lethe was sometimes identified with the daimona. Lethe, forgetfulness personified. It almost makes me think of The angel of for it's in the angelarium. The angel of memories. And it's like to take from one cup you must remove from the other. It's like to remember something, something else must be forgotten or something like that. How do you pronounce it? Let's see. Or it might be Lithy, because like Calliope, the PE is pronounced. Calliope, Melpomene, the Muses. Who are the other ones? Terpsichore or Terpsichore. Calliope, Terpsichore. Oh, what's poetry and stuff? That's not Melpomene. She's another one. I was like, oh, I should have remembered her name. Anyway, whole Greek. Oh, so she was the daughter of Eris and the personification of oblivion. Mm. We're on, I guess, Encyclopedia Britannica. Leith or Lethe. It's Greek for oblivion. Daughter of Eris, strife, and the personification of oblivion. Also named after a river or plain in the infernal regions. In Orphism, a Greek mystical religious movement, it was believed that the newly dead who drank from the river Lethe would lose all memory of their past existence. The initiated were taught to seek instead the river of memory, Nemesis, or I don't know how to pronounce this one, Mnemosyne, Mnemosyne. That is a name I've actually seen before. Thus securing the end of the transmigration of the soul at the Oracle Trophonius near Lebedea, which was thought to be an entrance to the underworld. There were two springs called Lethe and Nemesis. The goddess of memory, a Titaness, she was the daughter of Uranus and Gaia. And according to Hesiod, the mother of the nine muses. Oh my gosh. So okay. So I was going somewhere when I was talking about the muses. I didn't know. Yeah, because I think one of the muses was named Nemesis after the mother. She gave birth to the muses after Zeus went to Pieria and stayed with her 9 consecutive nights. Did Zeus father the muses? So Nemesis is a Titan. Where did Ares come from? Oh, I want to see what the muses' names are. I know it's Terpsichore, Melpomene, Erato. Erato might be the one of erotic poetry. It would make sense. Let's see. Can I get the names, please? Can I get the names, please? Okay. Father was Zeus. So yeah, the mother was Nemesis, memory. Okay, so we have Talia. All the Hesiodic names are significant. Cleo is approximately proclaimer, Euterpe or Euterpe, well pleasing, Talia, the blooming or luxuriant, Melpomene, the songstress, Arato, the lovely, Polymnia, she of the many hymns, Urania, the heavenly, and Calliope, she of the beautiful voice. So I got what, 3? Calliope, Melpomene. I did end up getting Arato. I should have remembered polymnia. I think I've seen it as like polyhymnia or something like that. But anyway, Orpheus is the son of the Muses, which would totally make sense. Who was Orpheus's lover? Terpsichore. Orpheus and it's either I remember Orpheus or the woman that he went down to the underworld to try to save. Where is she? Wow, 100 out of 500 words. Orpheus is locked. Why is Orpheus locked? Superhuman musical skills. Who did he go to save? Oh, it's either I remember her or Orpheus. Eurydice. Orpheus and Eurydice. And that's when he went down to the underworld to rescue Eurydice. And Hades was like, you can have her back, but if you turn around, she's coming right back here. And he made it all the way to the entrance slash exit of the underworld. Since she was a ghost, he couldn't hear her. Like he couldn't hear her breath or her footsteps because she's a ghost. He goes all the way to the entrance slash exit. And he's like, what if Hades was messing with me and she's not actually behind me? And he turned around and then she got sucked right back down. And it's like, my dude, like you couldn't have like crossed the threshold and then looked back. It's a real like, Sarah and Lot, when Lot was like, the angel said don't look back, and Sarah looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. It's like you can look back when you get where you're going. Anyway, your new life will cost you your old one. I think I've heard that recently. Did somebody say that? Was that a YouTube person? Maybe not. I still didn't get a card out of this deck though. So Nimison, I actually like that Nimison is stands for memory. So the mother of the muses is the goddess of memory. And so it's almost like the arts and creativity are the spaces, are spaces of remembrance. With Orpheus and Eurydice. See, there's another CE where the E is pronounced. Eurydice, Talia, Euterpe, Calliope, Melpomene, Terpsichore. I would not know, I guess. I was just really into Greco-Roman mythology growing up. And then I took Latin in high school because I was really into Greco-Roman mythology. And also, I guess I was that kid. I was like, maybe if I say something in Latin, something will happen. Okay. Actually, since we're on the topic of mythology, I really hope I don't pick up a spider. I'm pretty sure I won't. Ugh. Ugh, there we go. I have these Jeopardy cards from Latin class. Because my Latin teacher retired and I took them. Fuerent? Ain't nothing even on the back of this. It's just Fuerent. Hello? Let's see. I'm gonna shuffle these up. What is this? Rhymes and Romans. I ain't gonna remember. I'm the casual that nobody knows. Caesar so overshadowed me that I might as well have been a slave. What? Who the? Yeah, this was like hard level. We ain't nah. Okay, let's go to the easy. Who is this? What is all this? Myth matters too. Okay, let's see. Who was that? My name is synonymous with healing. I appear in the Hippocratic Oath. I am the mythical origin of modern medicine. Hippocrates? Like, this isn't even attached to anything. It's just a piece of paper. Hello? But if Hippocratic Oath is, the clue, then that's a pretty dead giveaway. All right, I'm going to just pull this one. We'll see. I am a shape changing god who can tell the future. If you can catch me, I lose my mysterious power to be a changeling. I don't even remember Proteus. So we got Proteus, and I'll pull this one if I can get it. I am a wise old prophet. The Greeks revere me. Oh, I know who that is. I can't think of his name. Is it Homer? No, it's not Homer. Oh, he was blind. Phineas? Phineas. Where's the answer? Where's the answer? Did she not write the hello? Providers and profits for 500. Where's the answer? I'm pretty sure it's Phineas, though. It's interesting, though. A wise old prophet and a shape changing god who can tell the future. Proteus and Phineas both start with this, but here's Proteus again. Proteus at the top of the deck. Proteus already came out. I'm pretty sure it's Phineas. Let me see if I can find it in here. Melpomene! Oh, snap. If a tragic play you would write, call out to me and I will fill your head and heart with the sadness you require. Melpomene, Terpsichore, Euterpe. Okay, here are all of the muses, and then Pyramus. Calpurnia, Polyhymnia. See, it is Polyhymnia. Andromeda, Narcissus, Cleo. I don't remember Cleo. And it's the muse of history. I was always terrible at history. What? There's Orpheus. I could have had Eurydice in my arms. I so charmed the underworld with my gift of music that they would allow me to bring her back from the grave. But did I heed the directions? I don't think so. Poor Eurydice. I wish I had not looked back just then. Oof. That's what was I about to say? I don't remember. I am a keeper of the bees. Aristeus? I do not remember Aristeus being the keeper of the bees. Procrustes. I just thought of Procrustes, I think. I don't know why. Penelope. Okay. I'm just gonna look it up because I'm not finding, but that's Phineas. And he was blind. I'm pretty sure he was blind. Not that that matters, I guess, but in the myth, you know. Oh, darn it. I already put that thing back down. It's fine. I'm going to look this up really quick. I'm pretty sure it was Phineus. Phineus, Greek mythology. Phineus was a king of the region of Thrace in Greek mythology, as well as a seer. He appeared in the myth of Jason and the Argonauts on their way to retrieve the golden fleece from the mythical land of Colchis or Colchis. Let's see. Phineus was a mortal. Oh gosh, this is not helpful. Oh, here we go. Cassiopeia. I remember Cassia. There are various accounts as to who his parents may have been. Some attribute Agenor or Poseidon as his father, while others say he was the child of Phoenix and Cassiopeia. He was initially married to Cleopatra, while later he married Idea. He had a number of children with his wives. Okay. And I just saw the Harpies. I saw the Harpies card as I was flipping through too. I didn't know that they were related. According to different sources, he was blinded, an event that happened as a punishment for either blinding his own sons, giving Phrixus directions, or revealing the future to mankind. He was potentially blinded for revealing the future to mankind. That sounds like something that the old Greek gods would get up to. I mean, you see what they did to Prometheus. I guess we was just supposed to be like doomed and lost, and just Zeus could come down here and have his way with anybody he wanted to. And I guess all the gods kind of sort of thought that way. They could have their way with anybody they wanted to. I don't know of any goddesses that really had their way with any mortal men, but maybe that just didn't make it in the books. As extra punishment, he was tormented by the harpies, which defiled his food whenever he tried to eat. I remember that. Okay. So when the harpies appeared and ate Phineus's food, the Boreads chased them until Iris appeared in front of them. The goddess told them that they should not hunt the harpies anymore, as they would no longer torment Phineus. The Boreads returned to the Argonauts, and Phineus enforced through the Symplegades in order to reach Colchis. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what this video is, but it was. I loved it. I mean, I took it for 4 years, so I'm gonna put these back though. Uh-oh. Wait, is this Myths 1? Myth Matters 1. This is Myth Matters 2. Did I put these back in the wrong spot? I think I did. No, wait. I don't think I did. No, I didn't. Never mind. Acontius? No. How is this Myth Matters 1? This is even harder than 2 was. Hello? Nikese. Cicero 6. Oh, necessary. Hyreo? I don't remember what Hyreo is. Hyreo, Array, Hysi, Hysus. Stick. Flagitium, that's probably like to whip or beat. Disgraceful acts, crime. I was thinking of flagellate. Ferrum is iron, that's easy. There is sword. LOL. I guess it really isn't that easy. I thought Gladius was sword. Vitium, is that life? Fault, defect, vice. Vitium, vitii. Our vita is life, so vitium. I don't. Cicero just gave me a bad reputation. I wasn't really going to overthrow the government. He made a big deal over nothing. Later, he got his. He finally got out of political favor and got exiled. Did I laugh then? Well, sure. I had to do it from the underworld. But it was still a pleasure. How you hating from the underworld? How you hating from like you dead and gone and you still hating? Woo. Is you mad or is you mad? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm playing. That's hilarious. I do remember Cicero though, because I thought that like he had to go and fight and like he wanted a farm. He was like, I'm gonna go and fight, but like after the war is over, like I want to retire to this farm and don't ever come and ask me for anything ever again. Like I'm done. I'm done. I don't know. He was like, yeah, I was in the underworld, but still, I thought that was funny. Question mark. I don't know. I was like, okay, well, at least he alive? Question mark. I don't know. Oh, I finally got a card. Oh my gosh, who is it? If it's the High Priestess, it's the Fool. The Fool with the Five of Wands at the bottom, or the Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So I was talking about Charon, right? Nemesis, the Muses, Memory, and then Proteus and Phineas. The Tower with the Hanged Man at the bottom of the deck. So the Fool in the Tower. Is this Kakegurui? When they jumped out the tower? With the Fool in the Tower. Hold up. Let's get a card. Oh, that's just too many cards. That's like 10 cards. Not doing it. It's 5:43. Oh, snap. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What was that? The Ace of Swords. What's these? The Three of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. The Ace of Swords with the Knight of Coins at the bottom of the deck. I remember when I first started using the Dreams, not Dreams of Gaia. What's the Dream Tarot by Cyril Marchetti? I'm pretty sure. The Tarot of Dreams. The Ace of Swords would come out like all the time. What's interesting about this Ace of Swords is I don't even know how to speak right now. Is Mercury retrograde already? What's interesting about this Ace of Swords is that it doesn't really feel like it's being presented. Like it feels like this is some divine being in the sky that is like holding on to the sword, maybe channeling something into the sword, preparing it. But it doesn't feel like it's being offered. And so in that it almost elevate our own conscious Is it elevate consciousness? Maybe. But it's like we have to get there to get the information. It doesn't come down. And maybe that's why Charon is here. I wish I had the Angelarium. I don't feel like reaching for it. It's almost like a little Alice in Wonderlandy, but it feels like there's like a hole and the cross guard, the hilt, whatever this part of the sword is, like if it were to drop, it would get stuck there. So if we look up, we'd be able to see the hilt of this sword, but it feels like that's it. Unless it gets inverted, but still we would see the blade of the sword. Well, actually, with crown, we would only see what's on the other side of the crown if it were like that. But if it fell this way, it would push the crown up against the cross guard. I don't know sword anatomy. Talking about the Ferris sword, Ferus Ferry. I guess Ferrum is iron, not Ferris. Ferrus, not Ferrous. Is that how you spell it? Ferrous. Yes, not that. Ferus, which is Latin for sword, apparently. See, this only has one R. Oh, never mind. That's wild, savage, uncivilized, uncultivated, untamed, rough, fierce, and cool. Cruel, not cool. See, that's why I'm like, Pharaohs is what is this? Hold up, let's see. She might have had that wrong. Ferrum plus eus is an adjective forming suffix. Okay. Iron, made of iron, like or pertaining to iron, hard, cruel, firm, immovable, rigid. Declinations. I remember being in high school and people would be like, oh, we gotta conjugate whatever. I was like, we gotta decline nouns and conjugate verbs. Like, I don't want to hear it. I'm just taking Latin actually helped me understand English better though. It's like it was easier to learn grammatical structures in a foreign language than it was in the same language because when I speak the language I have, like, I guess I'm immersed in, I don't think about grammar. I don't. I know some people do. Sometimes I do. But in speaking another language, it's something that you're forced to look at. What am I doing with this? I kind of wish I had the SAT. The only other decks I have out, it's the Starman, which I don't want to use. You know what? Try it. Why not? If it adds something, it adds something. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Wait. Leaf was actually one of the moons. Leaf is one of the moons of Pluto. Oh, wait. I don't want Leaf. I don't want Forgetfulness. Charon, Styx, Nyx, Kerberos, and Hydra. Leaf actually isn't one of the moons of Pluto. I just lied. I'm sorry. It was unintentional, but a lie nonetheless. How they have Hydra on here? Why Hydra? Hydra is so random. Like, out of all the rivers of the underworld, out of any, like, you could have had a Persephone, and you put Hydra. You know. Anyway, you took German. What? Excuse me. I don't think we had German offered. We had Latin, Spanish, of course, French, and that was it. Latin, Spanish, or French. And then my junior year, we got Chinese. And there was a class called Global Connections. I think in Global Connections, they did a semester of German, a semester of Russian, a semester of Japanese, and a semester of Chinese, maybe? No, I don't think it was Chinese. I don't remember. When I took Global Connections, it was a semester of Russian and a semester of Japanese. I took it for Japanese because, I wasn't a weeb, but I was weeb adjacent. I was pretty far removed from. I misremember. There you go. Can I get just a little more clarification on whatever this is? That's more than one card. Oh, the Three of Cups with the Hermit and the Three of Swords on the side. This is the most worried Hermit card I've ever seen. Oh, well, look at that. That's hilarious. Oh, Hermit's about to get shot. He's like, no. They're both on the side, though. The Three of Cups was upright. How it came out. And then the King of Cups is at the bottom of the deck. Speaking of the rivers of the underworld. This is interesting. I don't know. It's almost like there's something. One way to say this, it's like that there's some piece that's been found on some Plutonian level. And the Hermit is reaching a certain point in their journey where they're asked to do something. It almost reminds me of what Taurus got. And it was like rough. It feels like the hermit is fearing like not working to communicate. But it's like if he actually goes through it, it's like it's fine. It's like this is the fear of the situation, but in the actual situation, everything is okay. I think the of swords, the three of swords and the four of pentacles. Yeah. So when the ace of swords flipped over, the only two cards left in my hand, it was the three of swords and the four of pentacles. That this person looks very similar, has similar vibes, and it feels like it's almost like the sword can't penetrate through. And so I don't know if it's like little pieces of the sword or other things are like kind of sort of getting being sent our way. I don't know if it's like little pieces of the sword or other things are like kind of sort of getting being sent our way to lead us in a certain direction. Four of Pentacles again with the three of swords over here that we're not wanting to go in. Like I feel like the Four of Pentacles is like I'm good, but and it's not to be materialistic in any sense or in any way, but it's like, yeah, but you could be better. Like on the other side is the Three of Cups, is the Ace of Swords. And it almost feels like it's a perspective that those who have already departed would have. In the sense of like, it's like when they rejoin the spirit world, I guess depending on if they're able to like move on and integrate with whatever. But it's like there's a perspective that you get when you aren't so deep in the situation. It's like how, it could be really easy for people who aren't you or people who aren't you or who aren't in your situation to tell you what you should do. And the King of Cups is here, almost stranded question mark. Oh look, there's the Fool again. The Fool with the Chariot. That's interesting because last time it was the Fool and then the Tower came out, and both the Tower and the Chariot are numerological sevens. It feels like the King of Cups is waiting almost, expecting the Ferryman. And it's like there was a ship that came, and he was like, no, like I'm waiting for somebody else. And I had another dream or two where it's like something happens, and then all of a sudden, I'm not wearing earrings. Oh my gosh. something happens and then it's like, oh my gosh, we know how to use the thing that we never knew how to use. It's like now we know what XYZ was for. And I don't know if it's the time or if it's the season. And I feel like I've pulled every other deck, so I gotta, because these feel, I wonder if these could be different rivers. I really want to do that. Do like a Charon spread. King of Cups waiting for his Uber. Hopefully his Uber is like a dolphin, because I mean, I guess people you can Uber boats. Do people Uber boats? I wonder if there are like island places where like the Uber is like somebody coming from like the next island, or if it's like one of those cities where all of the walkways are waterways, and then like you got to get on a gondola or something to go somewhere. I remember like when I went to London, you could use the Oyster card to get on the little ferry or whatever. And I was not at that point in time, I was not getting on a boat. I was not. Speaking of sea courage, I was like, no. So we had to we took the long way, and it took a while. Like we had to go and get on the underground and then like go all the way around. We could have taken a ferry and just like gotten right there, but I was like, I'm not doing it. Now when I go back, I might. Um, but it's like I was like, what? You could use it for the buses, you could use it for the underground, you could use it for the little ferry thing. And it's like the transportation I feel like was so efficient. I don't take public transportation here. I mean, I took it when I was on campus, but yeah, like in Venice or the Bahamas. At least he'll have a porpoise. And there is a fish here that's looking at the king, looking at somebody else. Because the fish has a mobility that the king doesn't have. So maybe the fish knows that help is coming or the ride is coming. Dude, it's like my tea is going to get cold. I guess I'll take both of these. They're upside down, but the Seven of Pentacles, the Princess of Wands, and again the Fool, the Sacred Clown at the bottom. So there's lots of Fool energy. The Fool has made an appearance in like all of these decks besides the Dolly. Oh my gosh, look at Saturn. Saturn. Doo-doo-doo. There we go. I'm trying to see if there's actually seven pentacles on this card, or if the shadow of these two are counting as two pentacles. One, two, three, four, five. I'm seeing five, but it's the seven. Maybe it's like one of those Where's Waldo? Find the seven pentacles. Pentacles. That's the Fata Morgana again. It's interesting that Earth is meeting air. I mean, maybe it's not interesting because the great conjunctions between Saturn and Jupiter move from air to move from Earth to air and the air epoch wrestling around. Check them out. But it's like it feels like there's a certain despair almost. I don't know if it's despair, but like there's this kingdom in the sky and then something even higher above that. See, this is the council. Like I don't know what that is. Because this is in the mystical shaman oracle cards. This is coming out as like a this is coming out as like a but if you look in the back, there's a beanstalk that's growing up there. And then the Princess of Wands is also here. Okay, there's some DNA thing going on. Oh, look, the golden egg has been cracked open. I don't know if the wands cracked the egg open or if it's coming out of the egg. I feel like it's dark. Turn lamp to 100%. There we go. Oof, super bright. Let's see, maybe 80. Turn lamp to 80%. There we go. There we go. I think the Princess of Wands is the only fire card here. Ace of Swords, Six of Swords, Three of Swords twice, Three Cups, King of Cups, Four Pentacles, Seven Pentacles, Princess of Wands, also the Hermit. I feel like my brain is just like shut down. This makes me think of I think it was Dolly Tarot one day, another day, to do um I had no clue about the three eggs gifted by Anthony. I'm gonna have to look that up. Um it was like there was the red empress who was born in the blue world or whatever. So between the red and the blue, there's this golden whatever. And it is about the merging of truths, I guess, with that Six of Swords. This just went like way over my head. If there was a point to all of it. Oh, the Starman does it. Starman just take it somewhere where I'm like, oh, what? Because I'm looking at the Fool, the Sacred Clown. And there's this light shadow behind him. There's also this fiery sun. And maybe it is. I don't think I've ever noticed. So is the sun coming out of his finger? Oh, see, it's not gonna. Oh, wait, maybe it will focus. How do I get this small light? Is the sun coming out of his finger? Or is it going in? And then there's that big old light shadow behind him. It reminds me of one of the cards in the Revelations edition where there was the guard in the back and then there was the some shadowy something behind him. And I almost want to say it's a Plutonian trap. Almost like the task that Orpheus was given. I want to say it's a Plutonian trap because of the diamond in the bear trap. If you can see it. The little diamond in the bear trap right there. With Pluto being the god of wealth, the god of all the precious gems, ores, minerals under the surface. But it's interesting because I don't think we approach Pluto as wealth. We go to Mercury for commerce. And I think the Six of Swords might be, is that the moon in Aquarius or Mercury in Aquarius? It might be the moon. It might be Mercury. Oh, hold up. 6. Oh, I can't even type because I got cards on my keyboard. That's fine. Okay. So there's something. It's feeling more red, but it might be blue or gold or whatever. Is that a brain? Thunderclouds? Wait. So this feels extra dimensional. So I'm seeing a snake. I don't know if it is a snake or if it's just looking like one right here. And the snake is between the North Node world and the South Node world in the Vitruvian edition of the Spirit Keeper's Tarot in the Nocturne. The snake biting its own tail forms the lemniscate around the two, the infinity sign, but it's like an 8 because it's upright. And there's this like huge planet behind this person here. I think it's hard to see as a planet. But it's almost like, when something enters the atmosphere and it starts burning up with the fires, it's almost like that's the bottom of it. And so it feels like the two snakes are actually like this and the planet is coming in from above. Like it feels like it's in a completely different dimension. because then it's like, so the atmosphere, like that's what the sacred clown is coming. That's what the sacred clown is coming out of. One to be like, this is an extra dimensional being that's coming into a new level of multifacetedness, a new level of dimensionality, adding more dimensionality. But I guess if we kind of sort of think about it in a way to get a little bit more dimensionality, kind of sort of quickly ish, is to be able to see different things as true. It has a lot. It can add a lot of depth and dimension. Um, in some ways, that may be a lot to navigate at sometimes. Um, and that might be what King of Cups is looking out for. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. This is beyond me. Let's call it a quasar pulse. I don't know. Oh goodness. I do want to read the Princess of Wands though. Oop, not the Princess of Pentacles. Princess of Wands. Oh, they put all the court cards together. Princess of Wands. I spark the impossible. A sun child, she dazzles all who meet her, young, free, and formidable. In her presence, nothing is impossible. She wipes us clean of past fears so we can create in a space of pure freedom. Her luminosity resonates, sparking a memory that we and all of life are light bound up in matter. Her fire, fueled by breath, air, transmutes the heavy energy of past experience and failure, burning it clear away to release light energy. This potency can catalyze a new vision, and she is honored as a brilliant initiator. The princess. What did I read? Okay. The Princess of Wands transmits the drive to experiment and innovate. It is about a death of the old and a birth of the new. Going back to what you said earlier, Holly. It is in letting go of fixed beliefs about how something should be. There's that should word. Look, it put should in quotes. Skywalker's put should in quotes. I don't even know if you can see it. Should is in quotes somewhere in there. That we are okay, so it is in letting go of fixed beliefs about how something should be that we are teleported into an open realm of pure potential. Cast your doubts and fears into the fire to be melted down and transformed. Allow the exuberance of youthful confidence and innocence to surge. You can consciously take on something that appears to be impossible and flourish and grow in the challenge. What did that say about remembering? Spark a memory. Her luminosity resonates, sparking a memory that we and all of life are light bound up in matter. Now that's something that those who are released from matter who go to rejoin spirit or the element of life remember. That's something that it's easier for them. It's like their experience is more rooted in that because it's not as rooted in the physical because they're ain't got no bodies until they get new bodies question mark. Um but it's something that even when we go outside, it feels like there's some kind of disconnect here. And it feels very like ignorance is bliss. So it's better to remain ignorant. Almost. I don't know how else to say it. But whatever this Ace of Swords is, I don't think it can fit into, again, like it can't fit down into. I also saw Atlas, which is interesting. I don't think it's supposed to. Like be able to fit down into the 3D. It's easiest to say it as the 3D. It's like there are the concerns of the living and then the concerns of the dead, and those who think that the dead don't have any concerns because they're dead. So, what are the concerns of the dead? Who knows? You know what I mean? But it feels like if that Ace of Swords were to come down, it would cause, I don't want to say like a lot of destruction, but it is kind of sort of like falling meteor energy. It's kind of sort of like falling meteor energy, and it's a huge one. It's bigger than both of these worlds combined. And that's the thing. It's like that. Would you rather have one pizza that's 20 inches in diameter or have two pizzas that are both 10 inches in diameter? Well, the one pizza that's 20 inches in diameter is larger than the two pizzas that are 10 inches in diameter because you have like two smaller circles and then the one big circle. So you miss out on like that part. Ugh. Let's see if I can. The one thing I'll reach for is this pen. Oh my gosh, no! My water fell. When? My water is upright. My carpet is wet. How did my carpet get wet? How is the floor wet? Oh my gosh. The thing is upright. Floor wet. Oh my gosh. The thing is upright. Ugh. Where is where is oh wait, okay. Oh, that's not what I need. I need notes. Oh, it's already 9:30. Where's the draw? This is not a great drawing at all. But this is why. Oh no, don't stop drawing. There we go. Okay. Could you see all that on this? This is why the one larger one is bigger than the two smaller ones. Because of like if they were squares, then it would be different because of the nature of the area of a circle and calculating the area of the circle. The one above is bigger. And so then the Six of Swords almost with this Ace of Swords, and I guess with the Sacred Clown. And I guess it makes a lot of sense for like Sacred Clown Heyoka energy. Cause it's almost about like having the capacity to hold truths that don't necessarily fit into the world. It's like they're greater. I don't want to say they're greater than the world, but I mean, in some ways, that's what like religion and spirituality is. It's a contact and a context to the energies and the systems that exist outside of what we can like physically perceive on the 3D. And because they exist on a dimension greater than this one, they have some governance and influence and impact on this one. Um, and I guess it is kind of sort of a head in the clouds, feet on the ground type of energy. Shapoopy, right? Da 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 da. She's Shapoopy. Head in the clouds, feet on the ground. Something, 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 Shapoopy. That's a teacher for sure. What did I say about remembering? And see, there was something about wines can be creativity. And there was something about the muses, the daughters of Nemesis, the titan of memory, as opposed to Leith or Lethe, which is the waters of forgetfulness, the fire of remembrance, the waters of forgetfulness. And so maybe this King of Cups, it's almost very Artemis Fowl. It's like maybe on our way up to the Ace of Swords, we pass by this thing that we wanted to or need to remember. Right, because the King of Cups was waiting for this six. And I guess what I like about this Fool card is, hold up, I'm putting cards in the wrong space. On this one, we have this Fool who is curiously looking at the sun. And then we have the Sacred Clown who was like coming out of some kind of sun portal thing, whatever. I don't know. This is not what I signed up for at all. See, because I would argue that it's not for us to become so detached from life that we like don't feel anything. Because it's almost that's what the Princess of Wands, I think her entry said something about that. It's like our experiences in the past, our hurt, our pain, our whatever, they kind of anchor us. Cast your doubts and fears into the fire to be melted down and transformed. I don't think it was that part. Where is it? She wipes us clean of past fears so we can create in a space of pure freedom. Her fire, fueled by breath, transmutes the heavy energy of past experience and failure, burning it clear away to release light energy. It almost reminds me of Avatar, The Last Airbender, when he went to the monk to help him open up his seven to help him open up his seven chakras so he could control the avatar state. And there were different things that he had to release at different points along the chakratic system, because they're like chakras that are blocked by guilt, chakras that are blocked by shame, fear, I guess resentment and not forgiving others. And then when he reached the last one, he had to like let go of the person that he loved, and he couldn't do it. But it's like, it feels like the letting go is different than what we might think it is, because we think of letting go in like in context of our human experience. And I think that's what was that what the Three of Swords was about? No, not in that reading in particular. Well, I think it was supposed to work out to be that way. The Three of Swords and the Wild Unknown, that feels like a door in our internal sacred temple that is blocked by trauma, hurt, whatever. And it's like when it's resolved, then that doorway becomes open. And it's a corridor that now we can explore within self. I don't like, I remember saying that. I can't remember how the reading went because all I remember is the panther. I just watched an old video that I did, and there's a ceremony holiday in Japan where it doesn't matter. All right, I think that's where I'm gonna leave this. I'll shuffle and I'll get a final card from these four decks. Um, Phlegethon was the River of Fire, and the Princess of Wands is here. That's fine. Like, wait, where did the King of Cups go? Oh, there he is. Okay. Oh, it's so cold. It's so cold. My legs are freezing. I feel like I was warm and now I'm getting cold. final card from Rantbling. I'll just set these here. Then I'll come right here. Excuse me. Oh, I can't see the time anymore. I'll say I think it was 1:51. Yeah, 1:50 neatly. Okay. Oh, look, see, there's the star. So, Hermit. Oh, now I gotta find him. There's a festival where it's like the gods, it was like once a year they would cross the stars to meet each other or something like that. Um, and when I looked at the star on the Hermit, it made me think of that. Um, but outside of that, it's almost like using a greater light. There's the Fool. Where's the Hermit? Here he is. Goodness, I have to look through the whole deck. It's like if the Hermit used the star in the lantern, I think he wouldn't be as afraid. There's something about the perspective, something about the luminosity of the star, something about the star's ability to produce light rather than the candle. It's like you can't blow out a star. You know what I mean? And it's like, 6-pointed star, Merkaba. Wink, 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 question mark, question mark. No problem, Holly. And with this Ace of Swords, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there are these stars around the crown. Makes me think of those. There are 3 stars. You'd think there'd be 4 to keep some kind of symmetry, but maybe that's the 4th star. Who knows? Okay. So in the hermit's journey, the hermit takes the light of the Hierophant within. And at a certain point, the hermit has to trade the Hierophant's light for their own. And when the hermit acquires their own light and lets that light guide them, it permits them access to areas that the Hierophant can't give them access to, because it's not for the Hierophant to give them access to. It's the job of the Hierophant to lead them to God, Creator, Source. And then it's for them to develop their own relationship and understanding from that. And it feels like the King of Cups that's sitting waiting, trying to not fall into the river of forgetfulness, or any of the rivers. Styx, Phlegethon, Acheron, Nyx. No, not Nyx. Styx, Phlegethon, Acheron, Leith, and what's the one about lamentation? I was like, oh, that one I might have should have known. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah. And it's something that, again, with the light of the Hierophant, it's like it's no surprise why the hermit views it as they do. Um, Two of Cups. Okay. The bottom of the deck is the Knight of Wands again. Again, the last one was the Princess of Wands. Maybe I should just show these because I don't know how I'm supposed to get a final message after whatever happens. Is my camera like focusing today? What? Okay. Work. So this is about some kind of integration. And I'll say it's about some kind of integration because the yellow and the red that the dude and the lady are wearing are in this card on the knight. You see, he has the red gloves, and I guess the horse has the red booties, and then the yellow shirt is the yellow shirt of the knight. There is, and then under the Knight of Wands is the devil. No, unlike other, well, no, I think they're all like, yeah, on some other devil cards, it's like the chains are so loose they could break free whenever they want. Um, it don't look that loose in this deck. I mean, it looks pretty tight. But the thing about this energy is that there's the black candle on its head, but then the wand that it's holding actually produces a fire. So there's something about this. It almost feels like the Hierophant energy because it's like you that this is the light. It's that right there. Because with that, if that candle is gonna, I mean, if you look at it, that candle isn't doing much to illuminate the dark. And again, I guess with the hermit trading the lantern of the Hierophant for its own light, um, it's like after we work through, maybe after we free ourselves from certain things, there are other things that we begin to see more clearly. So maybe it happens after we stop seeing ourselves as wrong. Because with these two snakes, of course, I'm thinking about. I feel like I was going to say something, but I don't remember what it was. Of course, with this, my brain goes to the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden. Um, And it's like that's the snake before it lost its legs. That's the snake after it lost its legs. And the snake was cursed to slither on its belly in the Garden of Eden because of the events that happened at the Garden of Eden. And because of that, that's what makes me think of like, the Garden of Eden is the place where the original sin occurred. And it's because of what happened at the Garden of Eden that we are eternally always trying to make up for that original, for the OG sin, right? When Adam bit the fruit of the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, when he was told specifically not to. And it's almost like when we stop seeing ourselves in that way, then other things can sort of mature. And again, this is almost the space of what happens when there's no more like conflict within the self. When all of the internal conflict has sort of been worked through, when a good portion of like the shadow healing or whatever is done, or at least enough of it is done to the point where we don't allow it to shape, influence, and impact our lives as much anymore. Where we can make those choices and decisions that we're afraid to make. Again, the hermit being at the Three of Swords and afraid. And it's like you would think with all of the work that the hermit does, the hermit would be able to face the Three of Swords and, move through it. But maybe it's what we find when we do that. That's when we take on the healing. That's when he switches the candle for the star. And then the star is what takes the hermit to wherever that Three of Cups, Ace of Swords, whatever was. So this would be one that you don't have to watch back. It just is what it is. I'm not gonna make it unlisted. I might make it unlisted. I don't know. The Princess of Cups is at the top of the deck. Princess of Cups at the top. Princess of Wands came out. This came out. The Sacred Clown was at the bottom. See, Sacred Clown. Then you have like that. Though, let's see, these little light people, and then there's like the little light person behind the Sacred Clown. Oh, don't ask Patrick. This deck is so large, it's kind of hard to shuffle, but it's fine. So this is interesting. The Three of Cups has come out again, and the Six of Swords has come out again. It's interesting though, because in this deck, the Three Cups are falling down on these people sitting under it. And then with the Six of Swords, there's some like baby in the sky. There's a phase. There's a child. There's some lightning. Like the child in the golden boat. With the Four of Cups at the bottom of the deck. I don't know. It is. This deck, every time I use it, I'm just like, what? I feel like this is the deck that would make me talk about stuff that I'm not necessarily comfortable talking about on this channel. So maybe I'll take it on my other one. Maybe I'll save this deck for the other channel. Um, okay. So it's almost like alone, there are things that are a lot more difficult to do, but together they're a lot easier. Um, I guess it's like what happens when light congregates. And it's like what happens, it's all, I guess, because of the Six of Swords, it's like what comes about because of like healed interactions. And it reminds me of Corey. It makes me think of Corey. Um, and how it's like co-creating. Did he talk about that? Maybe. But it's co-creating. See, it's like a lot of times when we get in group dynamics, because of what we haven't faced within the self, it's almost like those become opportunities for mirrored reflection. And so it's like maybe you'll encounter someone who shows you something that you don't like within yourself, that you're not looking at, or that you don't focus on, or whatever. And it's like, again, when that conflict has been resolved within the self, when that healing has been done within the self to a certain degree, and it came out around some card recently, but it's like when others can stop being a mirror for the self, then we get to experience them as they are, fully and truly. And that's what this is. This is what happens when differences, different people sort of come together. It's a oneness that's composed of separate parts rather than a oneness that is everyone being a mirror and reflection of everyone else. This is that oneness of everyone being a mirror and reflection of everyone else. This is that, what you don't like in someone else is what you don't like within yourself. And so you kind of sort of meet a whole bunch of versions of you that you don't like because there are things within you that remain unaddressed. This is where the hermit that has the light of the Hierophant gets stuck. Not just when yeah, when we finally stop projecting. And I think there is a part of us that projects, and then there is just there's another part where it's just like, if that's what you need, that's what you're gonna find, in a way. Maybe it's a mixture. Oh, ooh, see, look at that. There's like, I didn't even notice, but there's this like black goo coming out of these, where there's like the golden light coming out of the other ones. That's why that person is in a not great space, because it's like, you know, and these other ones are like all lit up, like, ooh, give me more. Yes, please. Thanks. There's something within the self that can now grow here. It's like it's the space where they grow up. And it's the space where the inner child and the inner self can interact with the world in, at the very least, a more neutral way, rather than the inner child interacting with the world in a space where everything that it feared, it's like there are boogeymen everywhere. And that's what, like, when we do that shadow work and when we do that healing, and then when we have experiences that really anchor and cement that healing, that's when we get to live life outside of past trauma, past experiences, past fears, past thoughts, ideologies, beliefs, whatever. See Princess of Wands for all that her luminosity liberates us from. And I mean, this is definitely luminosity. So, and it's the space again of like shared luminosity and what happens and what grows as a result from that. Because just like misery loves company, there are other energies that also love company. And just how misery compiled can lead to a whole bunch of garbage that's even harder to get through or work to get out of. The other ones compiled bring something. And another thing is, it almost feels like, I don't know if it looks the same from y'all's perspective, but it's almost like it breaks open whatever this Ace of Swords was getting stuck on that it couldn't come down through. It's like this is breaking the space open wider. Well, the Ace of Swords literally just fell out of my hand, so that's what breaks the space to allow the Ace of Swords to come down. This deck, man. What singer? Oh, Sarah Bareilles. The song, it was Love Song. And then when I was old Patrick, not old Patrick, great Patrick, but old Patrick, not great Patrick. Like, still very much in the depression, Patrick. Still very much not trying to get out of the depression, Patrick. There was an old friend I had, and she would sing Sarah Bareilles, "I Want to See You Be Brave." She would sing that at me. And then this other dude came up and he would start singing it at me, and they were both singing it at me. I want to see you be brave, or whatever. Say what you're gonna say. Just let the words fall. Cause honestly, I want to see you be brave. I don't know the song, but they would sing that at me all the time. And then, I lived enough life and I eventually reached the point where I could be brave. So that's cool. I wish I could like talk to her. I think we're friends on Facebook, but I also don't think she uses her Facebook a lot. So a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I should be like, oh my gosh, like I've finally been able to be brave. I think I was talking. You just watched later. It's about finding yourself again. Ooh. She does. I used to love her. I mean, I would be like, oh my gosh, I love Sarah Bareilles. And the only song I would listen to was like Love Song, but that's fine. Oh, okay. So the Knight of Pentacles is at the Lovers is at the bottom of the deck. It's interesting. What's interesting is like these lovers are very much so connected, but they're not bound like they were or are in the Devil card. Brave is your song. A The card that came out is the Knight of Coins. Knight of Coins energy is interesting. Knight of Coins came out recently. twice. The first time the Knight of Coins came out in a very tradal way. It's like the way that we live our lives and the way we go about the experience of life creates the pattern, the habit, the foundation for how we continue to experience it. Because Earth is a very, I mean, Earth can be a very precedent. The seasonality of Earth can be unprecedented see, or like not in our lifetime, but maybe like years ago. I do think it's a little overkill. I mean, it seems like these people are already in love. Like they're already all over each other. And then they have like another arrow on the way. And then there are two other arrows like at the ready. But Cupid has arrows of aversion and arrows of attraction. And Eros is an astrological thing. Let's see, where is Eros? I could actually probably on my phone. Eros is the Roman name for Cupid. I think Cupid is Greek, Eros is Roman. I'm pretty sure Eros is Roman. A minion, constant companion of the goddess Aphrodite. He was very. Oh, so Cupid was his Roman name. Eros is his Greek name. Okay. Eros. Oh, that makes sense. Well, either way, it would have made sense. So Roman name Cupid, Greek name Eros. Gotcha. I don't have my phone. Darn it. Where's my phone? I heard it go off a second ago. I don't know if I dropped it or what. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Um Maybe it's that like love is an action word type of energy. Love is something that we show. Love is a way we live life. Um Love is more than just I love you. You know what I mean? Love shows up. Love does, I don't know. Find your favorite sappy chick flick and insert quote about love. And there you go. Yeah, Eros is and Greco-Roman mythology, not great. But I think he fell in love with Psyche, and then somebody did something so that they wouldn't be together. And then I think they ended up together. Every time you see Eros, and that's why the mischievous god of love and a minion, definitely a minion. It's like Eros, make this person fall in love with that person. I think that's what happened to Dido. Like Aeneas was on his way back home and he landed somewhere and they needed to make sure he would have hospitality on the island. So Cupid shot the queen of the island, Dido, to make her fall in love with Aeneas. And of course, never. So when he left, she was grief stricken that she threw herself a pyre and it became her funeral pyre. Um, and she was like, we're gonna like get all his stuff together and burn it because I'm mad. But in reality, she was planning on burning herself up. And it's like all because of Cupid. What was I gonna look up? Oh yeah, Eros, astrology, Eros and Psyche. Yeah, it is Eros and Psyche. Anyway, What? Got turned into a little baby? I didn't know about that one. Hold up, I have to look that up. Cupid turned into a baby. Fan fiction. What? From a handsome. Here's how the icon of Valentine's Day went from a handsome god to a child. According to myth, Cupid was the son of Mercury, makes sense, the winged messenger of the gods, and Venus, the goddess of love. He often appeared as a winged infant carrying a bow and a quiver of arrows, whose wounds inspired love or passion in his every victim. Okay. Maybe I won't get all the way into it, but I'll have to probably look that up later. I don't even know why I'm going to try to get a final message from the Dali Tarot, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try because this deck. Moana. I love Moana. Because I'm shiny. Watch me sparkle like a diamond in the rough. That was my favorite song of Moana, the first. After the first, like, week, 2 weeks, month. And then that other song became my favorite. Ooh, the Knight of Cups. Okay. Another knight. Bottom of the deck is the bottom of the deck is the Six of Swords again. Six of Swords with the Knight of Cups. This is a huge cup. Look at how effortlessly that Knight of Cups holds up that huge cup. Like, ooh, you're welcome. Okay, yeah, the crab song was my favorite in the beginning. I do like the You're Welcome song too, though. That might be one of my favorites now. I was all about the crab song for some reason. Cause I'm shiny. um well, with all of the butterflies on the Six of Swords and the butterfly wings on the Six of Swords, I think there is an energy of like changes, transformations that heal, changes, transformations, healings that occur within the emotional and mental bodies in terms of like there's the healing that we go through, the healing that we do, the shadow work, the whatever, and then it's like it rewrites our neurology just in terms of like triggers and traumas being reduced, um in terms of like finding confidence that wasn't there before or whatever. And it's like it's those healings that increase our capacity, because the enlarged cup is an enlarged capacity for different interpersonal, intrapersonal um things. It increases our emotional capacity for self and for others. And it's almost like that emotional capacity um is some kind of key to something. That emotional capacity make certain things easier. But I think it's also important to, it's like an emotional capacity for self and others. Because we can have an extremely immense emotional capacity for others, but if our emotional capacity for self isn't there or is lacking, that's how we can end up in situations where we're so likely to overly give to people who don't have the capacity to give back to us. And then we get upset with someone else for not reciprocating whatever we give them. But if they're not capable of reciprocating that, for whatever reason, they're not capable of reciprocating that, then it's almost like it's on us for giving that much. It's like, in a way, it's like knowing what we can do for people and knowing what we can't do for people. And it's not necessarily to get us to stop giving to people, but it might be to get us to not be so frustrated at what we don't receive from people when, again, they don't have the capacity to give it to us. Or like if there's a lack of communication where that, like, it's not even a conversation that we have with somebody, like, hey, like, these are my love languages, these are how I like to receive love, these are how I like to give love. And then the other person's like, these are how I like to receive love, and these are how I like to give love. So the other person could very well be in their own love language, emotional world, showing you that they care very much about you. But if that's not aligned to how you like to receive love, then you may not even notice it. Like, I had a buddy who I think one of his love languages is to, like, problem solve and to fix. And I would add I mean, also, I was like in the darkest place of my life. So, but I was also like, I don't want to be fixed. I want to be listened to. I want to be heard. I don't want to be troubleshot like I'm some kind of faulty technology. Well, have you tried turning it on and off again? Have you tried pressing the mute button again? Maybe that's why you're not getting any sound. It's like, um, but it could also be something almost as simple as that sometimes. Um, it's just like, they express love in a different way. But, swords are also communication. It could be any number of things. But it does lead to an increased capacity to be a little more kind, caring, compassionate, understanding, to also at the same time be able to have a healthy enough boundary where the amount of things that you tolerate that you shouldn't have to tolerate is kept to whatever you decide is an allowable limit. And sometimes balancing a love for self and a love for others can be difficult, depending on the situation. Other times it can be effortless and easy. It all depends on the situation. So, got to read the room. Well, some people are just like take and take and take. They're like, yeah, I'll reciprocate. And you're like, okay, well, where's my reciprocation? Some people do just like to use people too. I guess some people do like to use people genuinely. Other people, again, like they don't, especially if they're going through something in life. So, not to decontextualize what somebody is going through. There may be things that someone's going through that impacts their ability to give certain things. It may lower their capacity for others, especially, I guess, if they're in a season or a time of increasing their capacity to self. Um, and I think that's where it becomes a little bit of a gray area of like, well, somebody's going through something, so that's why they're XYZ. But at the same time, it's like, well, like, for certain things, even if someone is going through something, how excusable is it really? That's where it gets really gray. And that we navigate um, in whatever way we navigate it. So, yeah, that's what I got. I hope you all have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. And I hope that whatever, I hope your journey of finding your light and taking it forward and of reaching peace within yourself and finding a peace and harmony with the world around you and the people in it. Um, I hope you many fortunate things. I hope you nothing more drastic or difficult than it need be. I hope you much strength, courage, discernment, and wisdom, I guess. And I hope many, many, many happy things for you. So thank you, Rob and Skywalktress and Holly for joining me in whatever this was. Especially the whole bit about Charon. Just like skip the first 2 hours of the video. If you come to the end first, if this is what you see before you watch the rest of the video, if you like skip through and then you go to the end, don't even watch it. You know what I mean? I might make it unlisted. I might private it. I might delete it. I might not. I'll probably leave it up. I'm not in the habit of unlisting and privating videos, especially as much as I used to. Um, it was an interesting one, but the Google said to throw this reading away. Google said that Charon doesn't mean anything, and if it meant anything in the horoscope astrology, it would be our susceptibility to fall for spiritual garbage. That's what Google said. Google said this whole reading was spiritual mumbo jumbo garbage. So just toss it all away.